Friends, welcome to another episode of Pause and Ponder. My name is Brian Ferrier, lead pastor here at CIC. Today we're reflecting on Exodus chapter 15, and I want to look at verse 25. This is what it says. Then Moses cried out to the Lord, and the Lord showed him a piece of wood. He threw it into the water, and the water became sweet. We pick up the narrative here of the people of God leaving Egypt, the land of their oppression, where they were enslaved for many, many years. And they have just come out of an incredible victory to encounter their first big test. They have been wandering for a couple of days, and their supplies of water are growing short. They probably gave it some to the animals, they drank it themselves, and their water skins are pretty much going on empty. And so conceivably, reasonably, these guys start to be concerned. And in their concern, they complain. They start murmuring to Moses and they complain and say, where are we going to get a drink of water? What are we going to do? What are we going to do? They arrive to a place called Marah, and there they find that the springs of water that was in that space, the waters were bitter. It was potable water. However, the water had such high levels of minerals and salts that it just made the water undrinkable. So, what are we going to drink? The complaint rises up. And God, he gives them an answer, and I love his answer. He says, you're going to drink this water, basically. But he says, before you do so, here's an instruction. Moses, take this piece of wood, and I want you to throw it in the water. And when they do, that water becomes sweet. The bitterness goes away. The thing that was keeping it unpalatable, the thing that wasn't allowing them to drink, it becomes good. That makes no sense to me, if I'm honest. It makes no sense, because how can a piece of wood catalyze that water, change the contents, the consistency of that water, the character, the nature of that water, and make it better? It just doesn't make sense. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, just like when God told Moses, hey, when Pharaoh doesn't believe you and the people don't believe you, I want you to take that staff of yours, throw it on the ground, and it's going to morph into a snake. And pick it up by the tail, it'll morph back into a staff. It's just as ridiculous when God said, Moses, when he says no to you, take your staff, put it in the Nile, and that Nile will turn into blood. Like, that makes no sense. But here's the deal. God doesn't have to always make sense and be reasonable or logical in our human nature, in our finite thinking. And so what's the point of this story? Not whether they understood how the water was converted by a piece of wood, but how the water was converted by a supernatural act of God that was activated by one man's faith, one man's obedience. So I've found in my life, and maybe you have as well, that there's times where God seems to be asking me to do the ridiculous. Brian, give to this missionary, or give to this ministry, or give some money here, or of your time and of your energy, and do this. And I'm like, Lord, it doesn't make sense. It's not logical. It's not reasonable. It's inconvenient. It's uncomfortable. I need that for something else. Yet God's saying, take that wood and throw it in the water. Take that, what seems to be ridiculous, and throw it into the midst of your circumstance that seems already to be impossible. Your finances seem to be tight. Well, take this piece of wood and throw it in there by taking money out of your account and giving it to somebody else. Yet God makes that experience sweet. He's done it time and time again in my life where he has shown up. Brian, you're going in this direction, but I want you to change gears and go over here. Throw the piece of wood in. All right. Throw in your will, your desire, your thoughts, your own plans. Throw it in the water, and it doesn't seem to make sense. It seems ridiculous. But yet God shows up every time. My question for you is, what is he inviting you to today? What is he inviting you that seems to be ridiculous? Take inventory. Stop right now. Check, what is it that God is asking you to do that seems to be ridiculous? And maybe you've elevated understanding what that request is a little bit beyond what you need to. Maybe all God's inviting you to do is to be faithful and obedient and watch what he'll do. If you don't have anything ridiculous that you can think of right now, maybe for you, the invitation is prayer. Pray the dangerous prayer of saying, God, lead me to the place where the ridiculous converts to the supernatural, where the ridiculous things you're asking me, I get to see with my own eyes your supernatural faithfulness and mercy and grace. Maybe that's your invitation this morning. May God bless you, lead you, and guide you, and we'll see you again next week. Take care.